Aiden Warga. Aiden is a superstar among superstars. He wouldn't tell you that. He would say he's a Girard Indian among Girard Indians. Without Aiden, none of this would be possible. He wouldn't tell you that. He would say, without his brothers, none of this would matter. Aiden's accomplishments on the gridiron and on the diamond will never be forgotten. He wouldn't tell you that. He would say he was just building on a proud family heritage that was already left for him. Aiden Warga is a true Girard Indian. He is literally cut from the same cloth as the rest of us. This is who he is, this is what he is, and I'm damn proud to call him one of our own. He's a glimpse of the past, what it was and what it always will be, and hopefully a hologram of what the future will always look like. Aiden has embraced the Girard mentality, one that never gives up, one that never backs down, and one that always protects his family. That mentality sounds something like this. You've never played this game, too late to learn now. We'll see. You're too small. You can't play with the big boys. Watch me. You're hurt. Better just quit. I'll come back stronger. A lot of big shoes to fill your senior year. Don't know if you can do it. I'm not looking to fill anyone else's shoes. I'll wear my own. Are you strong enough to lead this team? My strength lies in all of my brothers, and you better get out of the way or we're going to run you over. And run people over, they did. I don't know if we've ever had a player excel on both sides of the ball as much as Aiden did. He was an all-Northeastern Ohio and all-conference wide receiver with nearly 1,000 yards receiving and 8 touchdowns. He also started at safety for us and had 120 tackles this season. He has brought a level of toughness and leadership to both positions that drove us to a championship level. And I don't know if we'll ever be able to fill the shoes that he left. But hey, if they're true Girard Indians, they'll want to wear their own shoes anyway. Aiden, I am so proud of you, and I am thankful for you being a breath from the past and teaching future generations what it's all about. You and your brothers know that we are family for life. Love you, bud. Aiden Warga. Mark Wade. 4th and 15. Oh boy, what do we do? The 4-year journey comes down to this. Coach B, what do you want to do? Should we kick it? Love you, Coach. Size, check. Arm strength, check. Mobility, check. Ability to read a defense, check. Ability to make plays, check. Blonde hair and blue eyes, check. On the outside, Mark Wade has all the physical tools that make up a great quarterback. Even as a freshman, we knew that this young man was born for greatness. But I'm telling you, what sets Mark Wade apart from the rest, and I do mean all the rest, is what you can't see. He has more heart, soul, and determination than anyone I've ever seen. He is an unselfish leader that accepts nothing but the best from himself and others around him. When we are successful, he gives praise to everyone around him. When we are not, he takes all the blame on himself. He likes to win, but he hates to lose even more. He is not afraid to make mistakes. He is not afraid to cry. He is not afraid to put an entire city, no, I'm sorry, an entire valley on his back and carry them. He is not afraid to say he loves you. Come to think of it, the only thing he is afraid of is to let the people he cares about down. And by far the hardest moment of his athletic career, sitting at the podium after the state championship, with tears running down his face, his true fears emerged. His heart was broken, and so was mine. I couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't sit there and see one of my boys, one that I looked at as a son, put all the blame on himself for us coming up short in the state championship game. I grabbed the mic and told him it was his fault. It was his fault we were in this game. It was his fault we made the playoff run we did. It was his fault an entire city, an entire valley was behind us. It was his fault we played 47 games in the last 4 years, in which he started in all 47. It was his fault we had back-to-back 10-win seasons, back-to-back playoff teams, a league championship, and 5 playoff wins in the last 2 years. It was his fault that every major offensive record for Girard and Trumbull County has been shattered and may never be broken again. It was his fault that not only him, but the entire Girard family are in the record books as the 4th leading career passer in Ohio high school history. And the 2018 Girard Indians will always be the first in the history of Girard football to make it to the state championship. Marky, you haven't set the bar. You are the bar. And from this point on, all others will be judged in your shadow. I love you, kiddo. It's been a privilege to be your coach the last 4 years, but it's been an honor to call you a part of my family. And this entire city, this entire valley is so excited that you have chosen to stay home and lead us for the next 4 years. I guess we'll have to share you with the rest of the valley, but you're always going to be a Girard Indian. You're always going to be one of my boys. 4th and 15. Oh boy, what do we do? A four-year journey comes down to this. Coach B, what do you want to do? Should we kick it? No. Let's run that play where Mark Wade leads us to a state championship. Love you, Coach. Love you too, Marky. And remember, because of you and your brothers, generations have been changed forever. And no one will ever forget the 2018 Division IV state finalist, Girard Indians. Mark Wade. Jamil Bannister. I truly value all the relationships I have with my players. I know how lucky I am to have an opportunity to be a part of their lives. Each relationship is just as special and just as important to me, but like life, they are all different in their own way. My relationship with Jamil is a special one, maybe one of the most special ones that I've ever had. It started long before he ever wore the red and black and played for me. You see, I coached his uncle back in 2011. I remember picking up and dropping off Mitch at the house, and I would see a little 9-year-old Millie bouncing off the walls. Mitch would always tell me, "Coach, wait till you get your hands on him. He's got a lot of energy." He wasn't lying, but I don't know if energy is even the right word. Jamil is one of those types of cats that has the power to either light up a room or burn it down. He has the ability to lead a team to greatness or tear it apart at the seams. You can't teach a young man to possess that kind of power. You're just born with it. As a coach, I saw it instantly. As a young player, he was scared of it. He didn't know how to use it. He didn't want that kind of responsibility. But I wouldn't let him run from it. I wouldn't let him hide from it. In fact, I was harder on him than most because I knew the greatness that he had inside of him. In one way or another, I was going to pull it out of him. The ride wasn't always smooth. In fact, at times it was pretty bumpy. But we both stayed the course, and our final destination ended up being in Canton, Ohio. Not bad, Millie. Not bad at all. A 2-time All-State defensive player, Jamil will go down as one of the best all-time defensive players to ever wear the red and black. He's one of the best pure football players that I've ever coached. But that is not what I am most proud of. I am proud of the man he has become. I am proud of the journey we have been on, and I'm proud of the relationship that we have formed. One that goes way beyond the field, one that will last for a lifetime. In one of the toughest times and one of our hardest moments in our journey together, a point where our relationship almost broke and crumbled to the ground, I sent him a simple text. "I love you, Millie, like you're one of my own sons. I will never turn my back or give up on you. When this is all over and the dust settles, I will miss you the most." Yo, Millie, we did it. Now take that special gift inside and go share it with the world. Jamil Bannister. Daryl Smith. On the back of our team shirts this year were the letters RYFP. By now, you all know it stands for Reach Your Full Potential. I don't think anyone on our team has lived and embraced those letters more than Daryl Smith. When you look at Daryl Smith standing in front of you, you see this 6-foot, 240-pound man who looks like he was born that way. I still see the little freshman who barely fit into his extra-large shoulder pads. I always knew there was something special about that kid. I remember the moment in practice his freshman year when I saw that special spark, one that he probably didn't even know existed inside of him. I immediately inserted him into the starting defensive line because I knew there was greatness to come. And come it did. Darryl has worked his way to becoming one of the best defensive ends in the state of Ohio. A two-time all-conference defensive lineman, he played a leading role on what was arguably one of the best defensive lines in Girard football history. That unit imposed their will on opponents' offenses for 15 weeks, and with little to no fanfare, was one of the key reasons why we were blessed to play for 15 weeks. Darryl's work ethic was amazing, both on the field and in the weight room. He pushed himself and others around him to greatness. He is another young man who didn't let tragedy define him. It inspired him. It led him to a path of greatness, both on the field and in the classroom. His love for this team and this program is unmatched. He poured his heart and soul into this team, and I thank him for that. His teammates are his family. They are his brothers. A relationship that has grown over the last 4 years. From the good to the bad, the victories and defeats, they are truly of the same blood. What they have done here will never be forgotten, and I am the lucky one who gets to be called their coach. D-Train, this is just the first stop on your journey, but this will always be home, and just know I will always be here to welcome you back. Love you, brother. Darryl Smith. Tyrese Cato. One of the worst parts of my job is having to say goodbye to my seniors. One of the best parts of my job is having a front row seat to watch them transform from our young boys and turn into men. Each of them take their own path and have their own journey. Cato was no different. Life hit Cato quick and hard at a young age. But we are who we are through our trials and tribulations. And what at the time might seem like a hardship ends up being one of the best things that ever happened to us. Tyrese was a starting corner for us this season, and to be honest with you, he was unbelievable at it. He was a missing link we needed to turn our defense into a championship level defense. His position by nature in our defense is by far the hardest and the most important. We basically ask our corners to play in space, all alone, man to man, all night long, and on the opponent's best athletes. Our corners obviously have to possess a lot of physical tools to be able to excel at their job, but they also have to be tough, dependable, and mentally strong. They have to realize that the team has put their trust and faith into their abilities, and they cannot be scared or shy away from responsibility. Cato was not scared. In fact, he didn't even blink. He embraced the role. He knows what it means to be counted on. He knows how to take care of his family. When we say brotherhood, it's real. This team was truly a bunch of brothers, and it was awesome to watch the little brother as a freshman become the big brother as a senior and look after all of his boys. But that's what real men do. They take care of and protect their family. We are blessed to have a special little guest join us at our family dinners this year, and I feel privileged to have gotten to know little Zion. I pray that I will be lucky enough to hold on long enough to be his coach, because if he's anything like his dad, I got to be a part of that. I'll leave you with this, a little quote and advice my dad once gave me. There are little eyes upon you, and they're watching day and night. There's a wide-eyed little fellow who believes you're always right. You are setting an example every day in all you do for the little boy who's waiting to grow up just like you. Tyrese Cato. Jack Del Garbino. You know, I was asked by a coach before the state championship if I ever thought 4 years ago we would end up at this point. I told him honestly, no. 4 years ago we were just a bunch of young boys. But after watching these men grow, I did know it a year ago. In fact, I can tell you the exact date, December 2nd, 2017. Before the state championship game this year, I shared with the boys a ticket I carried in my wallet for an entire year from the 2017 state championship game. When I left that game, I wrote on the back of the ticket, "We belong here." I knew we had the talent and the capability to get there. The problem was, I needed a blueprint on how to do it. How do you take a vision and turn it into reality? How do you go from good to great? How do you find enough strength, heart, and determination and toughness to make it all the way to the top of the mountain? Jack Del Garbino showed us the way. Put your head down, you go to work. Everyone wants to be the beast until it's time to do what real beasts do. Let no one or nothing stop you from reaching your goal. And at some point, you're going to have to stand up and physically go take what's yours. I think almost the entire football team was in Columbus last winter to watch Jack win a state championship. The rest of the offseason and the entire summer, we continue to ride that high. We can do this. Let's just follow Jack's lead. And lead us he did. Jack Del Garbino will go down as one of the greatest Girard Indians that ever lived. He is a state and national champion in wrestling and a two-time All-State performer in football. He's a 4-year starter on both sides of the ball, and over his career, he has set a Girard record with 47 career starts. He has over 100 tackles in each of the last 2 seasons, which is unheard of from a defensive lineman. And he was a starting blindside left tackle for the last 4 years to protect Mr. Wade's backside and help lead our record-setting offense. He barely spoke, never complained, and always had a smile on his face, and always had our backs. That's no surprise to us. That's what he is. That's who he is. Jack Del Garbino is a champion. He comes from championship blood, and him and his brothers have carried this team for the last 4 years. Jack is a beast. He's his own breed, a rare animal. We may never see anything the likes of him again. Heck, an entire school district won't even talk to us because they feel like they had rights to him. We did not choose him. He did not choose us. It was meant to be. A champion among champions, a brother among brothers, and a son of Girard for life. I love you, Jackie boy. And if you never ever need someone to help you dig a hole, I'll have my shovel ready. Jack Del Garbino.